I'm going to show you how to do a lot of different features on the Word program. We're going to start by finding how to open Word. On most computers, you will go to the Start menu, and you'll have to find where Microsoft Word is. You will most likely just be opening up a blank document by double-clicking on the right part of your mouse. Your version of Word may look slightly different depending on what year you have, but a lot of the features are still either exactly the same or very close. So what you're going to learn through this video is everything on this list. So we're going to start with the font size. You can either change these items before you start typing, or you can change them after you type something. Most of the time in class, you will start typing and be required to type your report and then use any extra time that you have to mess with the font and the color, the style, etc. So I'm going to show you how to actually select the font or select your whatever you typed and then change it from there. So you actually will do a left click on your mouse, hold it down, and drag over everything that you have. You'll notice that a little window pops up, and you can select the font from this drop down by clicking on the arrow, and you choose whatever font you want. We'll go with Papyrus. And that changes the size. If this menu goes away, or you simply want to use the menu up here, you can choose a different font. You have many, many choices to choose from. Same thing with the size, which is right next to it. Make it a little bit bigger. We can make it bold is the B underneath. Italics, good for titles when you want to make a particular word stand out, very important. Underline. If you select it again, it undoes it for all of these styles. So notice how it just undid everything. The color of font is right here. So you select, these are the main colors down at the bottom. You can get into lots of different colors by selecting on this wheel right here. So let's say we want to make it purple. So there we go. All right, now let's figure out how to center and align our font. That just means make it go to one side or another. So again, since I already have font on my page, the different choices that I have here are these four. So right now you can tell because the left align is selected, it is aligned to the left. If I wanted it to be centered, I would click the one where the lines are in the middle. I could align it to the right. This one you're not going to use very often, and for this particular one it doesn't change anything. The left and right clicks on the mouse is something that you're going to just need to practice. Left click is what you're going to use most often. That's when you would select. You're using the left click on your mouse when you're selecting something on your screen. The right click is actually when it brings up a different menu bar. So we're going to be using a couple different things on here shortly when we do our spell check. The scroll bar on the mouse, sometimes you'll use a mouse that has a scroll bar, sometimes you won't, but it's the little wheel in the middle between the left and the right click, and it allows you to scroll down your page and up your page without having to bring your mouse all the way over to the bar on the side. So it just makes your life a lot easier. So when you're typing, how do you actually get to the next line? Well, easy. Let's say you're typing away, you want to go to the next line, you're just going to hit the Enter key that is on the right side of your keyboard. So and I'm done. I'm ready to go down to the next line. I hit enter. You can make a bulleted list by selecting this menu right here. You can choose from all these different bullets. If you want it to be numbered lists or lettered lists, it's right next to it. For page borders, you're actually going to go to a different tab at the top instead of your Home tab. You're going to go to the Design tab and all the way over to the right where it says Page Borders. You're going to be on the Page Border tab. You select whatever style you would like. You can pick a color. Let's have our color match. You pick a width. So let's say we want it nice and thick. You could pick some random art if you wanted. Remember, most of the time you're printing at school, it's not going to be in color. You can choose if you have a multi-page document, if you want it to be on every page. Usually the answer is probably yes. And so then, ta-da, there's your border. Okay, so how do you copy and paste a picture? This is where you're going to be using your mouse. So obviously you're going to have to find a picture. So you would go into Google, and for our class right now, let's see, we are researching birds. So let's find a picture of a bird. I guess it would be better if I gave a specific species. And usually image search is better. Alright, I like this guy right here. You're going to right click on your mouse, and that brings up copy image. So you're going to copy that image, and then you're going to go back down to your Word document where you were, and you're going to put your left click where your cursor is, where you want your picture. So let's say I want my picture to be right next to my text of where it says copy and paste my picture. Now I'm going to right click to find paste. Now that picture is pretty big, so I probably want it to be a bit smaller. So I can click on it and it brings up the edges that I can decide to make a little bit smaller. I can double click with the right side, and that brings up a picture menu where I can crop my picture. That's like cutting the edges. So let's say I just wanted the bird. I don't want that whole branch thing. That's like taking scissors to it if you crop it. Okay. So I want it a little bit smaller. This arrow up here allows me to turn it. If I right click on my picture, the last thing I'm going to show you is something called wrap text. And this is something you're going to have to play around with. But it's going to allow you to move the picture around a little bit more. If you do square, it's going to let you have a little bit more freedom with where you're moving your picture on your page. So see now how I can have it kind of off to the side. Before it wouldn't let me move it around at all. Okay, let's do spell check. Well, first I need to spell something incorrectly. So the red line underneath is telling me that that word is not spelled correctly according to Word. So if I put my cursor over the word and then I right click on top of it, it brings up all the possibilities. Usually the top word is the most likely to be correct, so you can click on that. Doesn't guarantee that it will be correct, but there's a pretty good chance. Okay. All right, saving on a flash drive. This is very important. So you all have a flash drive here at school. I'm going to get out my flash drive. You keep it in your binders here in class. You plug it carefully into the USB port. when you are ready to save, it may ask you this question. You can typically continue without scanning. When you are ready to save, you're going to go to File. Because this is the very first time I'm saving, the first time that you save anything, or if you want to change where you're saving something, it's always going to be Save As. So that's like you're doing something brand new with where you're saving. So I went to File, Save As, File, Save As, and I'm going to choose my computer because I'm picking where I am in my computer. Now I don't see my flash drive anywhere here, so I'm going to browse. I still need to choose. So I'm going to scroll down to my computer, and my flash drive is called Store and Go. You're going to need to learn what your flash drive is called, and I can help you do that. Your teacher can help you do that. So you're going to double click the right side of your mouse on Store and Go. You may want to make a folder in here with, so new folder, maybe my tag projects, and actually let's not do my, Miss Garrettson's tag projects, and then enter. You're going to double click to open that folder. I can see at the top that I'm inside that folder. So now, Model How to Use Word. That's a pretty good title actually. So I'm going to call it Model How to Use Word, but at school I want everything to start with your name. And then you save. Now you notice the title is at the top. Now saving is something you should do all throughout while you're working on your project. Saving is easy. Once you've saved as, it's already in the folder, it already has a name. You just have to click on this little disc right here at the top. And that just means that if something goes wrong, the lights go out, the cord gets pulled out, whatever, the computer glitches, you simply just hit save. And it keeps all of the words that you have on your page right as they are, the pictures and all the hard work that you've done right as it is, and you don't have to go back and do all of your work again. So that's the difference between save and save as. And the last thing, how to print, same menu. You're going to go to File, go down to Print, and you're going to have to choose the correct printer. So in my class, you're going to choose Garrettson. My class rule is you are allowed to print up to 3 pages without asking. They will be black and white to the Garrettson printer. If you have something that you would like to print in color, you may ask, but the answer may not be yes. The classroom printers are only hooked up to the Garrettson printer. Okay, so you select Garrettson, make sure it says Garrettson. You want to see how many copies you need. Usually it's just going to be 1. Make sure you're only printing the pages that you need. You may want it facing up and down, or you might want to have it turned. Notice how it changed the way that it looked, and I think I kind of like it landscape like that, so I'm going to print it landscape. And then you hit print.